Here's what we're talking about in our lineup today on the Now. You know how expensive name brand drugs can be, but generics can be pricey too. The new plan to cut out more of the middlemen to help. And voice cloning could be the phone call scam of the future. The action happening today in Washington to make sure everyone is protected. Well, it's an essential skill, but it can be a challenge for adoptive or even foster parents. The program offering hair care education for families.
Thank you, Annie. I'm Amanda Starantino, and you're watching the Now Indy. Children as young as 12 years old soon could be treated as adults in the state's criminal justice system. Indiana lawmakers will soon discuss a bill that would lower the minimum age for a child to be admitted into adult courts from 13 to 12. This would only apply for children accused of murder, kidnapping, rape, or attempting to do those crimes. The bill was scheduled to be heard this morning, but it was delayed to this evening. Many in the committee room signed up to oppose the bill's passage.
I think the age should go back up to when you were an adult. I don't think nobody should be incarcerated with adult type time at 12 and 13 years old, for one, because how many redeemable qualities will you have after being only 12 years old and being locked up for 6 years? So basically what you're telling me is at 12 years old, I'm no longer redeemable at all, and I should be thrown away. I was incarcerated at that age, and it hardened me to the degree where I never was able to return to childhood.
We will keep you posted on the status of the bill this evening. Also from the State House, the bill moving forward could make it more difficult for anyone younger than 18 to get married. The bill is advancing to the full House after a committee heard from women who were 15 or 16 when their parents forced them to marry men who had raped or molested them and then faced more abuse before being able to escape the relationship. Current law allows those younger than 18 to marry if they have parental consent. The proposal being considered would make 18 the general age for marriage. The only exception would be a 17-year-old if the intended spouse is not more than 4 years older and a juvenile court judge gives permission. 95 people between the ages of 15 and 17 got married in 2018.
Take a look at the cloud cover out in Putnam County, and I'll show you what it looks like in Marion County in a second, but the cloud base is a little higher west of Indianapolis. They're lower here in downtown, and that's an indication of the precipitation that we have. Some flurries, very light drizzle, just trapped here for the next several hours. Won't amount to a lot, but you'll notice it at times. It's a vision test, really, to see some of the snow flurries as we go broader everywhere with the cloud cover. That is not going to change this evening. That will keep our temperatures pretty locked in at around 30 degrees or lower 30s. This is the view from downtown Indianapolis. Now, of course, the camera's higher up. Here's Meridian Street starting to come to life. Then as you see the city lights and car lights start to take over in the low cloud cover, temperatures in the lower 30s. They won't change much over the next several hours. Steady temperatures, some flurries and drizzle. Temperatures do go a little below freezing, so just watch the bridges. They're the first spots to have any issues during the day tomorrow. Temperatures in the morning around 30 degrees. Clouds hang in there. 35, your Wednesday high.
President Trump is out with his plan today for Middle East peace. He revealed the details with the Prime Minister of Israel by his side. The plan calls for the creation of a state of Palestine with its capital in parts of East Jerusalem.
My vision presents a win-win opportunity for both sides. A realistic two-state solution that resolves the risk of Palestinian statehood to Israel's security.
The plan more than doubles the area the Palestinians currently control, but also recognizes Israeli sovereignty over major settlement areas in the West Bank. It calls for a 4-year freeze in new Israel settlement construction, but the Palestinians have already rejected the proposal, accusing President Trump of being biased in favor of Israel. Well, the outpouring of grief online continues all over the world for Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the other families lost in the helicopter crash. For a lot of people, social media is helpful during distressful times.
It's really opened up new ways that people can express their sorrow, their grief, and share memories, which is a really important process in the grieving process.
Arthur Evans is head of the American Psychological Association. He says the grieving process is different for everyone and there's really no timeline. Evans says social media helps because it gives people the ability to share their thoughts and get immediate feedback.
We are social people, and when we have a social connection to someone and we lose that person socially, we're going to feel that in the same way as if we knew that person physically.
For some, the shock and suddenness of Brian's death may remind them of a death of someone they were close to. Experts say there are signs to watch out for, like extended periods of significant sadness or depression, also not being able to work or do daily activities. Evan says reach out to the person, and if that doesn't help, they might need to see a professional.
It may not be that particular event that is causing the person to be depressed or anxious or whatever the challenge is that they're having, but it could be a precipitating event.
Past research has shown that Facebook memorial pages for people who died by suicide had positive effects for family and friends. They provided a place to go and an outlet to share feelings. All right, back to our lineup. A new plan to cut out more of the middlemen profiting from prescription drug prices. A look at the concept that's already working to lower other drug costs and when we could likely benefit.
Keller and Keller.
The state is demanding money from two former township employees. It says misused taxpayer money. We are talking about Ripley Township near Cathridge and Rush County. Now, the State Board of Accounts is asking former township trustee Tara Hancock and former investigator Jonathan Hancock to repay more than $37,000. State auditors say the Hancocks used township funds for their phone and internet without providing proper documentation. They also received thousands of dollars in excess salary than what they were supposed to be paid. Auditors also criticized them for racking up unnecessary late fees and penalties on things like taxes and utility bills. We've reached out to them for a response, but we are still waiting to hear back. They have not been criminally charged.
There's a new look at why some prescription medication is so expensive. Berkeley researchers studied who profits from the costs. So they found that drug makers keep about 54% of the profits, and that's actually gone down in recent years. Meanwhile, all the groups that medications pass through before making it to the patient, for example, hospitals, pharmacies, pharmacy benefit managers, their profits are increasing 9 times higher from 2013 to 2018. And that's why some healthcare groups are looking to cut more of the middlemen out.
It's really trying to cut out this margin that exists in the system between the manufacturer price and then all the other discounts, and so you end up payers end up paying a lot more than the cost of manufacturer, even on generics.
Thomas Getz, the head of research at GoodRx, is talking about a new partnership between Blue Cross Blue Shield groups and a nonprofit drug manufacturer, Civica Rx. Blue Cross Blue Shield is pumping $55 million into the nonprofit to make typical generic medications you would get at the pharmacy. And then they're selling it directly to their customer base. Civica Rx already does this, but for hospital-administered IV drugs. They didn't say which medications they will make, but the first batches should be available by early 2022. Meanwhile, Getz says customers need to know insurance isn't the only way to pay for medication. In fact, the tiered drug pricing system insurance companies use can leave people paying more than they have to.
Choosing to look at discounts and other sources of pricing can actually be a much more affordable way to access the medication.
GoodRx helps people find affordable medications by showing prices from different pharmacies in the same area. So some other ways that you can save: talk to your doctor about moving medications to a cheaper one, asking for a larger refill like 90 instead of a 30-day supply, or asking for a bigger dosage like 40 milligrams instead of 20, and then confirming with your doctor cutting the pill in half is okay. All right, ahead in our lineup, voice cloning might seem pretty far-fetched or something only famous people would have to worry about, but it could be the future of more sophisticated phone scams. The action happening today to protect us.
Aboard, RTV6 is working for you.
We've talked a lot about the privacy concerns with facial recognition, possible abuse, discrimination, and how there's no real regulations yet. Well, there are the same concerns around an even more sophisticated technology: voice cloning.
I'm Andrew, a synthesized Scottish accented child's voice from Sarah Prock.
That's a recording from a child with cerebral palsy who lost their ability to speak. It was generated for their benefit with the permission by a company in Scotland.
And you realise how important it is to them, how personal it is to them, how much it is part of their being, really, to be able to speak.
But there's obvious concerns about this technology landing in the wrong hands. That's why the Federal Trade Commission listened to top experts in the field today.
I pick up the line and it sounds just like my husband. And my husband says, "Hey, honey, my phone died. I had to borrow a phone from my friend because I forgot we had a payment to make and that's due today. Could you please make that payment?"
The FTC wants to know more about the potential misuses and benefits and to hear some voice cloning firsthand. They're also discussing ethics, like who can recreate your voice without your permission. These types of workshops are usually a first step to creating rules around new technology to protect consumers. Well, the number of truck drivers is at an all-time high, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. But there still aren't enough to keep up with the growing demand. So Kai Beach is looking at the incentives being offered to get more people behind the wheel.
You're going to back it in until the front of your truck stops at the first standing cone.
Being a truck driver isn't the draw it used to be.
And stop it right there.
At Excel Driver Services, they're grinding gears, trying to figure out how to get more people behind the wheel of big rigs.
I think it's a big issue. I think you've seen companies go out of business because they can't get safe drivers to operate their equipment.
Excel owner Jason Emery says America has a major shortage of licensed truck drivers. And the numbers support it. According to the American Trucking Associations, the industry was short more than 60,000 drivers in 2018. That's almost a 20% increase from the year before. And the ATA reports a need to hire more than 1 million new drivers over the next decade to keep up with the growing transportation demand.
There's a huge need for qualified truck drivers. Every company in this town is looking for drivers right now.
Emery says the major reason for the decline is that many drivers are getting older and retiring. Now the industry is trying to attract younger drivers. People like Shelby Stennett, who's changing careers from a frac hand in the oil fields to a truck driver on the interstates.
Fired up. Career-wise, making that extra money, put that money in my pocket, you know. Being able to provide for myself, my family, and my friends.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the starting pay for a truck driver is around $44 grand a year.
Make sure you signal.
But after a few years on the road,
I would say so.
The ATA says drivers can easily make 6 figures driving an 18-wheeler. Economists say fewer truck drivers on the road could end up costing you a lot more money.
For the last several years, we've gotten used to free shipping and one-day shipping, and give it to me right now, and maybe that can't continue.
Christina Huber is a professor of economics at Metropolitan State University, Denver. She says with more online shopping and fewer drivers to transport the goods, shipping costs could skyrocket.
If they're having trouble attracting drivers to the industry, then the only way to alleviate that shortage is to make it more attractive for them to enter.
To attract more drivers, many companies are increasing pay. They're also using new technology to train a new generation of drivers.
What we've decided to do in a couple of years ago is to purchase a simulator company, and now we're building our own systems to change and evolve how we train drivers.
Evolving to get more drivers to live life on the open road. And keep on trucking. I'm Kai Beach reporting.
Remember when airlines used to give us many perks for free, such as checked bags, free drinks, and food? Consumer reporter John Matarese shows us some U.S. airlines that will still give you free perks in 2020, so you don't waste your money.
Anyone who flies know how airlines love to nickel and dime us, charging us for things that used to be free, like checked bags. But it turns out on some airlines, you can still get a lot of services free of charge. Fly much? You've probably been hit with some add-on fee gotchas. Checked bags, $25 to $50 each. Changing a ticket, $200. But Airfare Watchdog found 10 airline perks that are still free on some U.S. airlines. Among them, free Wi-Fi on JetBlue, 2 free checked bags on Southwest, no change fees on Southwest, free sandwiches on Delta and American cross-country flights, free Biscoff cookies on Delta and American, and free soft drinks or juice on all major airlines. You'll have to pay for drinks on most discount airlines. And for the dozen that stink file, one freebie that most airlines don't offer anymore, free meals to Hawaii. You'll get hungry on that 5-hour flight and may say, doesn't that stink? Hint, Hawaiian Airlines offers free meals on flights from the mainland to Hawaii, which may leave you saying mahalo or thank you. Bottom line, before grabbing the cheapest flight you can find, make sure you're not going to pay another $100 for a bag or $30 to pick a seat. That way don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matteries for RTV6.
I bet you Hawaii is in a little better shape than we are right now. We haven't had sunshine in quite a while. There are the low clouds producing some flurries and drizzle. That will continue, and I think we'll see some flurries again during the day tomorrow. Tomorrow won't be much different than what we've experienced today. The gradual warming trend that I'm talking about won't be felt until we get to the weekend and early next week. Chance of a rain-snow mix on Saturday. Those are some of the umbrella headlines. All around the metro area, some flurries and drizzle showing up on the radar as we broaden the view. Much of central Indiana will continue with these flurries over the next few hours, with temperatures not really changing. 30 in Crawfordsville, temperature in Richmond in the eastern portion of the state, Wayne County at 30, 34 in Connorsville. Temperatures Bloomington on down to Bedford and Seymour about 33. Temperatures tonight stay at or around the freezing mark most of the night into the morning hours tomorrow. Flurries just about any time. That continues tomorrow, 7 a.m. to about 1 p.m. The model kind of overplays, I think, the coverage, but just again, like today, I think we'll see some flurries. Tomorrow's temperatures by noon, we're at 33, 35 for the afternoon high. Don't go searching for sunshine. I don't think you'll find it. These temperatures are typical for this time of the year, average temperatures. Thursday, we have a chance that we could see a little sunshine. Temperatures move at least into the upper 30s for highs. 4-day forecast will unveil some warmer temperatures. We'll reveal that coming up.
The challenges of parenthood are plentiful, but some adoptive parents learning the basics of what may not come naturally can be especially frustrating. Usher Qureshi found one nonprofit that is focused on providing hair resources.
We're so glad you're all here.
What is that? Inside this hair salon, moms are being taught a basic but essential parenting skill.
So you're going to divide the hair into 4 sections here?
Ponytails, twists, braiding, you name it, and the hair care experts here can teach it. All of it for parents with children who have textured hair.
Look at every texture in this room. She's somewhere in between curly and wavy. She's in the middle.
Are you in the middle?
You in the middle. Yes, you are.
Tamika Swint started the nonprofit salon Styles for Kids 9 years ago. The salon helps parents of biracial children and interracial adoptive and foster parents manage their children's hair.
We love being in a position to be able to offer hope to families and parents who are struggling and let them know it's okay.
At workshops like this one, Swint provides a safe space for transracial families to learn and get answers about unfamiliar locks without worry.
So it's like, you know, I don't want to say the wrong thing, so how do I say the right thing in a way that doesn't offend, but still gets me the information that I need?
So how was school today, Elise?
Siobhan Patterson, a licensed hair braider at Styles for Kids, says the most common questions are about hair care products and how often to wash.
If we continue to wash it, we'll lose all our oils and nutrients. And it'll dry the hair out and it'll fall out.
For mothers like Anna Bonnick, learning to do her daughter Elise's hair correctly was imperative for helping establish her daughter's identity.
What's really important is learning from stylists who are familiar with Afro-textured hair, especially if they have it themselves, because they're able to celebrate and explain it best. So
my favorite was I had box braids. They're very long braids and it's hard to explain.
Hard to explain, but not impossible.
Hair is all about love.
Reporting from Oak Park, Illinois, I'm Usher Qureshi.
Thank you, Usher. Well, Styles for Kids has expanded its reach. Last year, the organization did workshops in New Jersey, Georgia, and Michigan, but it says it has also been asked to expand to other areas, including California, Florida, Kansas City, and Milwaukee. So it's raising money to try to make all of this possible. Next in the lineup, Barbie is getting more diverse, and this may be just the beginning. How more toys are following this trend.